Hey, what's going on, guys? This is my first episode I'm making where I'm actually talking. So, hello. Hopefully, you enjoyed the intro. It's pretty amateur. We got a lot of work to do still, but for a first episode, I think it's a good step in the right direction. But we're going to go ahead and get into it today. So, we're going to be talking about tips on route control. Now, these are like basic ways to try to do better for your team in Arma, Reforger. And the beginning step is kind of understanding the three basic ways to win, right? You have combat support, and logistics. Today, we're going to be talking more about the combat side of things. And you do most of these already. You just might not even realize it. But there's ambushes, raids, planned attacks, route control, and meeting engagements. And as you guess from the title, we're talking about route control today. But you're going to probably ask yourself, what is route control? Well,
the enemy. Wish I could see where you guys were.
Oh my god, bro! I did the.
I've been off for a while. Oh, I see him.
so route control is essentially roadblocks. Now, a lot of people that I've played with in games will sit there and tell me rather, what are you doing not on the objective? If you're not trying to fight for the objective, you're not helping the team. You suck. Go die. It's a totally understandable point. But let's say you're playing alone, and I know a lot of us are, right? It's hard to get all of our friends online sometimes. This is something you can do by yourself as a solo player and hold up large amounts of enemies. The impact you're going to make doing this alone or even with your buddies, in fact, it's better to bring your friends. The more friends, the better. You're going to be holding up a larger force than yourself almost every time. Additionally, regardless of the amount of times that you die, you're going to be destroying a larger quantity of supplies than you're bringing to the table. You could bring one of the most expensive loadout kits that you could possibly imagine, and you're still going to be cheaper than blowing up that BTR that was packed with 3 or 4 dudes and all the other stuff that's inside of it. All right, so there's a couple points, obviously, that are going to have a lot more impact than covering a random dirt road in the forest, right? So the first one we're going to talk about is what I call the why. Now, the why point, if you're looking from the south and coming up, has one, a supply base right next to it that directly feeds levy and military based levy. Now, if you continue north on this road, you're going to hit Moniac. If you continue and go west at the Y split, you're going to hit Morton. This road can shut down advances from the south to the north or vice versa just by having a couple guys there. Now, you can do anything from bringing a Humvee here to bringing a construction truck and really getting down and building, 50 cal emplacements or NSV emplacements. But regardless, this position here is critical to hold. Let's get a little bit of like a bird's eye view of the Y. Now, if you look here, that's the supply base. Look to the right over here, that's levy. Behind you have military base levy. Now, going down this road, right, we're going north. You have Simon's Wood like right there, and then up that road more you have Moniac. Over here you have Morton. Now, I'll give you a quick second here just looking at this photo of places that would be good to ambush. Remember, your imagination is what's going to keep you alive, and you staying alive is what's going to keep the team alive. The longer you can hold these points, the better. Now, I outlined some of these really great spots here. This is usually where my group and we choose to try to control the route and interdict anything coming through this area. And I'm going to go ahead and show you on the ground what they look like right here. All right, so looking north, you can see the road quite clearly at the Y. Go in the Game Master view here, pull it out, right? Into the map, see just fine. That's where it's at. Now, on this second position here, we've got a Humvee. Humvees are nice because they come with a 50 cal. Not every position needs to have a machine gun. You can use rockets. This is a good spot too. This next position covers the entire eastern side of the road. Now, we're talking about being creative, staying camouflaged. It is hard to see this position from the road. Anybody going down this road fast is not going to see you, right? And like I said earlier, you don't got to bring rockets. You could bring just your rifle if you wanted to, but when you have heavier machine guns and rockets, it makes it easier. Okay, speaking of being hard to see, you can go up on this hill, and this is definitely one of those positions that Humvees or emplaced machine guns really excel in, especially with those higher caliber rounds, because you can really gaze down on this hill. That's where it's at, kind of like on the map, right? And there is no way they're going to see you, right? I mean, position selection when you're doing route control is everything. Now, you might not have time to do something like this, and that's okay. But what matters the most is that you are able to put effective fires on the enemy and maintain control of these routes. Right. So the last thing we're going to touch on is landmines. Now, this is obviously a ridiculous example because on your person, you can only really carry 3 or 4 if you don't even want a weapon. But mines are going to be critical to the way you hold positions. All right, everyone's favorite part here, the loadout. Trust me, I hate Battlefield Barbie stuff as much as everybody else. Okay. Building an arsenal before you build a radio tower is just nonsense. But these things aren't happening in the early game. You should not be focusing on route control in the early game. This is a mid to late game type thing where the enemy has an abundance of supplies and they're using it on vehicles and whatever they can. So you're at the point in this game right now where it's okay to go load up on a bunch of equipment at the main base or whatever it is you need to do. Also, you're not loading up on a bunch of equipment and then running off into a base and dying, okay? You're going to use loadouts that make sense, that are cost effective as well. And we already talked about how, if you bring 3, 4 laws with you in a backpack, for example, or an RPG with 6 rockets, you're probably going to destroy at least 1 or 2 vehicles, which are more than going to cover the cost of your kit. Another great thing is like vehicles carry supplies. So if you take a Humvee or a Jeep, you could throw 5, 6 mines in there. Those are going to help you out. On your person, your character, camouflage is key, right? Try to get rid of the all tan if you're a Soviet. Put some sort of, KLMK vest on or whatever. Also, make sure you're covering your hands and make sure the helmet you have ideally is camouflaged at the very least, or at the very best, it's got the lettuce on it to help break out the outline of your shape. One of the other things we're going to talk about is AP rounds. So if you're running a Dragnov, if you're running an M60, if you're running an M14 or M21, you're going to want to run AP rounds. They do less damage to people, but they zip through vehicles. And on route control, our whole objective is to kill vehicles. So you know what? Maybe they killed you, but you destroyed their vehicle so bad that you still slowed them down, right? That's also part of our objective here. And the last thing is squad roles, right? I said that you could do this solo, and it's true. You can do a huge impact as a solo player doing this. You'll have the whole enemy team pissed off in their comms, screaming and crying, and you're laughing because you picked it up off the radio of a guy that you just smoked. And that's fine. But if you have squad doing this, 3 or 4 guys, or a fire team, whatever you want to call it, and you've got your rifleman, leaning heavily into their roles. So he's carrying extra machine gun ammo for the pig. He's got extra frags, smokes, whatever. Cool. Your grenadier in your squad. Hey, you've ran out of rockets, but this dude's got 15 extra HEDP underbarrel grenade launchers. That's more than enough to kill, quite literally, not kidding, 5 or 6 BTRs, right? Your gunner, large volumes of fire, if anything, is going to freak out drivers. And when it's, 308 AP or 762 54R, coming out of a PKM, if it doesn't kill them, odds are with the way people drive in this game, they're going to veer off the road and kill themselves. So you did the right thing, right? And then the most important role of any is the radio man. You need a radio because this beacon is going to help you stay in the fight. Stay continuously covering this roadblock. They'll be like, oh, we got them all. Next thing you know, your team spawns back up on the radio and you destroy 3 or 4 more vehicles. And the enemy team's like, oh, I thought you said you got them. And yeah. So this wraps up the video on route control, keeping your team in the fight, making sure you guys are continuously putting pressure on the enemy, slowing their advance. Again, this was my first video, so if you guys liked it, please leave a like. If you want to see more, please subscribe and be honest with me in the comment section of how I can do better, because I want to improve. I want to keep making these videos. I spend so much damn time playing video games, I might as well make videos on it. And that's it. Have a good one. Out.